Dear friends and family, for the people who do not know me, I'm Colin. I will begin this memorial service for my mother, La Wen Guai. My uncle Johnny will continue after me with a few words, and Stephen, my brother, will conclude the service. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for attending this memorial service for Mother La Wen Guai, La Wen Hao. Many of you have traveled from far. My sister Beverly, my uncle Johnny from Australia, my cousins from Johannesburg and Pretoria, Edwin, Mervyn, Belinda, Liesel, Ealing, Alan from Somerset East, even Humphrey from Grahamstown. We also have Rosemary, Robert, and Lisa from Cape Town here. And we have some friends, Bruce, and your lovely wife. Many of us have also connected from over. Many have also connected from over the web, across the world. Okay, to join us here today, from South Africa, from Australia, Hong Kong, China, London, and further afield. Thank you for being with us here today, to share your love for Mom with all of us. Our friends and family, Mom was a petite but graceful woman. And like the brothers and sisters, she was boisterous in life and loving to all. I remember with fond memories of loud and happy family gatherings, and Mom was the center of it, and she was happiest at a party chatting to everyone, okay, and making us and loving all of us. Mom was born in Vereniging in 1938. After the Second World War, my mother decided to return to China with my grandmother and their children. Mom's early years were spent in Guangzhou. My grandfather and later my mother also returned to South Africa to look after the family business. During this time, Mom and her older sisters looked after the younger siblings. This time was difficult, but happy. Mom even managed to attend 2 years of university studying mathematics in Guangzhou. Later, she and Auntie Lily returned to South Africa to look after my grandmother who was sick and to look after family business as well. She told me how she and Lily actually flew back by aeroplane, which is unusual at the time, but how scared they also felt because they couldn't speak English. But I see just how incredibly brave they were and how they sacrificed so much for family by leaving all they knew behind them. In Johannesburg, Mom met Dad, Lau Chong, and after marrying Dad, they had 3 children, myself, Beverly, and Stephen. Mom was warm and loving, and she had many skills. I remember that one year that there was a school fete when we were very young, and my sister Beverly was participating in a fancy dress contest that year. Now, Mom actually made a little Snow White costume, exactly like the Disney princess. I think even then, at our young age, Mom was making our dreams come true. My favorite memory is actually making Chong fan with Mom. Mom actually prepared and steamed the Chong fan, and my job was actually to scrape the noodles from the enamel trays and then roll them into shape. Now, Mom seasons this dish very differently from the restaurants. She uses soy sauce, a little bit of hoisin, some spring onions, and toasted sesame seeds. To this day, this is still my favorite way of having Chong fan. I also remember making egg noodles with Mom. She prepared the dough, and I used to crank the pasta machine. And then after, she'd make, wonton mee for all of us. Now, everyone talks about Mom's fat cakes and her bak tong bo. Many people have asked me for those recipes and secrets. Well, a lot of it is just hard work and skill gained over the years. I made vetkoek with Mom in December when she came back. And even though she watched me and taught me, I still couldn't match her. I just could not get the dough right, stretching it. Well, Mom passed away peacefully on the 15th of April. However, Mom would not want us to be sad at her passing. Okay. She would want us to remember those happy times that we had with her. So let us remember, let us celebrate, let us cherish her bravery, her warmth, her love, and her wisdom. This is Mom's legacy to all of us. I will now read a tribute that was written by my aunt, Lai Wen Kwai, to Mom. And thank you for Cousin Ben Lee for the translation. So it reads, our fifth sister, Ngaje, was hardworking and resourceful throughout her life. When our mother returned to South Africa during our secondary school years, she left Ngaje in charge of the household. And despite the limited resources, she managed to keep house in order, and her cooking skills were already excellent. We enjoyed her varied and delicious dishes. Because our family had many children, our mother taught us to sew our own clothes. And I learned sewing from Ngaje. In the 1960s, after Ngaje returned to South Africa, she helped our mother with business to support our younger brother's education. After getting married, she and her husband worked together to make the restaurant successful. And her fried fish was absolutely top-notch. Despite taking care of 3 children, she still found time to visit our mother at home after work. And even in her 80s, our hardworking Ngache would voluntarily do household chores and clean the garden wherever she went. Ngache cherished and loved life, and after suffering a stroke, she followed the doctor's instructions and actively engaged in rehabilitation exercises, which helped her recover quickly. The doctor admired her perseverance. Ngache was sincere and humble towards others. She made different contributions to her family throughout her life, but never boasted about them. That's why her siblings all respected and loved her, especially our third brother, Sango, who particularly admired her. Ngache worked hard to learn new things, which enabled her to use an iPad to read news and communicate with us through WeChat. In her spare time, she also persisted in doing Sudoku exercises. In recent years, Ngache told me that she was very happy in Australia and received warm hospitality from her daughter's family. Johnny's family, Peter's family, and our third brother. These were the happiest and most relaxed days of her retirement. Ngache was a good daughter to our parents, a virtuous wife and mother, and most importantly, my good sister. I will always remember the time I spent with her and the lessons she taught me. Rest in peace, our beloved Ngache. My uncle Johnny Holly will now say a few words. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so grateful that you have come to my sister's funeral from so far away and so close to this beautiful city of Cape Town. For those who is unfamiliar with me, I am Johnny Holly. I'm Mrs. Chong's number 6 brother. My mother has 14th pregnancy and 11 live births. We were happily grew up together, and I must say, we never had any bad apple in my family and our family. My late sister, Lai Wen Ho, is the epitome of Chinese woman with all the good virtues. In fact, the same virtues found in most of the women in our world. She was hardworking and loyal to the family. She worked selflessly for the immediate family as well as the distant family alike. To illustrate this, I'd like to share a few stories with you. My sister and I grew up in the communist China in the early 60s. That was still under Mao's rule. In those days, life was very hard. But we were happy because we are all equally poor, or we don't know anything better. That is a blessing of the youth ignorance. Okay. And for example, we are all rationed with about 30 pounds of rice per month, 4 ounces of oil, and 4 ounces of meat per month, not even per week, per month. I was boarding at the number 8 high school in Guangzhou, and our daily diet consists of boiled rice and spinach every day, without fail. So to me, spinach is a dirty word. So I would go home once a week, and Sister Ho, Ngaje, is always shaving his meat coupons and save the best meat for the weekend for me and for the family. And Ngaje would cook an egg with tomato and spring onions. That was a treat. And it's really a great treat I will never forget. I am looking forward every weekend just for that. And the taste, I will never forget. And not even the best Singaporean truffle egg foo young anywhere come near to that. Aho, sometimes we fondly call her, and she was very popular when in all the days, never mind about the younger day. And she was very popular in the high school and her first university day, and she's always got a lot of boys around her. So we wonder why. After she completed her first years of mathematics in University of Guangzhou, she has to return to South Africa to look after my sick mother. We have a corner shop at Vanwilloch Street, if those familiar with Johannesburg, corner Vanwilloch and Albert Street. I see somebody is nodding her head. And Sister Ho and my number 7 sister, Lily, and had to look after the shop, and as well as my sickly mother. They sacrificed the opportunity to continue their study, to support me and the family, to go to university. And Ngaje and all my other sisters contribute to my success in life today. I am indebted to them all. Excuse me. My sister Ho was successful in her own way. She married to my late brother-in-law, Chong. They work hard and run a very busy eating house in Overton, in Johannesburg. She used to get up 4 o'clock in the morning, make up a big tub, like a baby bath, big tubs of dough. There's a lot of dough. 4 o'clock every morning, and then make her famous fat cook. And the worker used to come in 7, 8 o'clock, queue up in the shop to get their fat cook, and before they go to work. And she still makes the best fat cook that I know. Sister Ho, my sister Ho, Ngaje, and my brother, we call it Ngo, Lao Chong, they work very hard in their shop. And to put their children through university, they all become a very successful professionals in their own right. Colin is an accountant and executive in a big telephone company before his semi-retirement. Stephen is in the IT industry as a data analysis. And Beverly is a fashion consultant in a big company in Sydney as a chief buyer of all big company like Audi. You may not have Audis in South Africa. It's one of the big company like Woolworth. In January, Ngaje had a stroke in Sydney after a party, and we were staying together. And she had a stroke and was admitted to St. Vincent Hospital, and she was loved by the staff because she's so motivated, and she always do extra, do more what they asked them to do. So she recovered after 1 month and come to my house to recuperate. The second morning, I got up. You know where I found her? She was weeding in my garden. I was furious. I said, how can you do that? You just come out of the hospital. But she won't listen. She was a pocket rocket. She's very small, tiny in stature, but full of energy. She's always on the move. Ngaje, as my sister Ho is the epitome of all women. Is selflessly working hard for their family. 五家姐, and in fact, all the women have their inner strength, which we don't see or appreciate as much as a man. And they are much better than our mental facade. We look strong with all muscles, but the women, they are strong. She and all the women have my respect. I love you. We will forever love you, Ngaje. Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. My grandma was so hardworking. She was always doing something active. She supported me and my family with everything we did. She was happy here and in Australia, and she always liked being with family. Rest in peace, Mama.
Dear friends and family, thank you to those family members that have made this long trip to Cape Town to come all this way to say goodbye to my mum. We are really honored and really appreciate you being here. Thank you to those family members and friends joining online and the family in Cape Town for your love and companionship towards my mum. To the family in Australia, I thank you for taking such good care of my mum while she spent the last 4 years with you. She always seemed busy, telling me that she was staying with her brothers this weekend, and the next weekend she would say her nieces were taking her out to Yam Chow. So I thank you for just taking care of my mom, taking her out. Most of all, I want to thank you, Nick, Bev, Hannah, Cameron, for the love and the care you gave Mum. Mum was very happy in Australia. I thank all of you. For Mum, her happiest times were just to be able to spend time with family. She could spend hours on the phone just talking to her sisters and brothers. She loved family get-togethers and loved catching up with everyone, her brothers, her sisters, nephews, and nieces. She would just like having conversation with them and just getting to know them better. My mom was a good cook, a great cook, and made things you don't even see in the shops today. Who of you remembered her bak tong ko or tried her dandan custard desserts?
She would spend the whole day making a couple of dozen chong, carefully wrapping them in only 2 sheets of leaves. Boil it, freeze it, and then give it out to the family to enjoy. I was hoping to get her to teach me how to make wu tau ko this season. Yeah, hers was the best. I think her most famous recipe is her fet cook, which everyone has talked about. She would share this freely with family, and I've seen it been reproduced a few times. When Mom came back this year, she told us the story of how she learned the recipe. When she arrived in South Africa from China to look after her sick mom, Lloyd Jia, a very good family friend, said to her, "Come, I'll teach you how to make fektu. It is easy and it sells well in my shop at the market." Mom learned this recipe and it would make it at Popo's shop in Van Willig Street. Her fat cook became a good seller and everyone would come from far and to the shop to buy the fat cook. That's what she said. So our mom sacrificed an early mornings to prepare her renowned fat cook. In a way, helped to raise our family and make it so successful. I hope you keep on making my mom's fat cook and pass the recipe down to the generations to come. I think that will make her happy. Mom loved to walk and garden. On her walks, she would chat to strangers and make friends with them. She would also often come home with plants she'd nicked from her walks home. If she has done any gardening for you, you can look out for some surprises in your garden. I came home one day and found a whole frangipani in a pot in my garden. Thank you, Mom. Yeah, coming back to SA, Mom would pass on her wisdom to us, encouraging us all to be together and to eat together at the dinner table. She would teach Callum how to behave like a gentleman and teach Zoe how to spend her money wisely. Mom, I thank you for all your sacrifices you made for us, all the things you taught us, all the laughs, all the recipes you shared with us. Thank you for being such a loving, caring mom. I'll always remember your gentle ways, Mom. I pray as you look down on us from heaven that we can make you proud. May the Lord comfort you in his arms and keep you safe. We'll miss you, Mom, but we know you are happy where you are. We'll always love you, Mom. I think we'll end the service with the photo memorial. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I think Edwin, you want to say a few words, Ed?
Family and friends, it is a sad day that we have to come through this morning to wish my aunt goodbye. I haven't prepared anything, so I'm just saying it from the heart. My fondest memories of my aunt is definitely when we were young, went to the shop in Overton, and just the cousins used to play in the back of the shop, and we enjoyed ourselves. I mean, we looked forward to going there for any family gatherings and just, get together and chill out. My aunt was a strong woman that I was amazed. I mean, she had a knee replacement op. She recovered so quick. As you heard, she had a stroke last year. She recovered so quick. But when Steve broke the news last week that she had a brain hemorrhage, I even spoke to Cole and said, isn't there a chance of doing surgery to let her recover? Cole told me no. And she wished that she wouldn't suffer, so, I obviously respect her for that. And unfortunately, she passed on, and what can I say? From the bottom of my heart, my family, the rest of the cousins, Sambamo, we will miss you, and especially your cooking, your advice, but we will always cherish the moments we had together with you. And we'll just have to carry on, and we'll look after each other. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Moustache restaurant in Chinatown, Sable Square. Yeah, please, we'd love to see you.